So here you are, 50 years old.
Uh-huh.
You've done more time in prison than you've done out of prison. I'm going to assume that you're clearly out of the game 100, 110%.
120.
120%. 120%. Your son has nothing to do with it. Your grandson is a baby. What is it that you're trying to accomplish in these years that you have, to leave behind a legacy more than just the street part of your legacy?
Well, I started a truck hauling business called Quick Hauling, where I go out and, when people get evicted or they move and they leave furniture and stuff either in a house or apartment, I go out, we pick it up, we take it to the dump, and they cut me a check, right? I started a trucking company. I started a foundation, which is called the Durham Reed Foundation. And that foundation for me, basically is for me to have dialogue with these youngsters about gun violence and about the consequences of these guns and how they resort to these guns every time they had conflict. So me just having some real conversation with them about making better choices when it comes about these guns, But I'm not no preacher, and I'm not coming out here preaching to these youngsters neither one. That's not my role. My role is to give them some advice so when they make their choices, they know what type of consequences they're dealing with, you know what I mean? I also been out here having these little parties, these little events. I kind of like it. I like the chase. I like the hustle of it. But my girlfriend, she want me to get out of the promotion game, man, because it's stressful, man, right? But I kind of love it, man. It's like a challenge, you know what I mean? And so that, and then I want to get off into real estate eventually. And I also, man, want to either get a TV series on my life story where I can talk about Oakland and the Bay Area and all these different characters tied around my story, far as the Black Panther, the Mac, all the history that come out of Oakland. I would want to tie that into around my story, and build all these characters. So a TV series would allow you to include a whole bunch of content, but if the right writer come in and write a script that I think is telling my story in that hour and a half window frame, then I would want to do a theatrical movie on my story. And I think I got a great story, and that's why I wrote my book, Wait. And if you read my book, it's an interesting story, and I believe that the public would embrace my story, especially with the redemption part, getting granted a clemency from Obama coming from where I come from,
Absolutely. And I just want to comment because we tried to get your book, before this interview, but the only place we could find it was used on Amazon, and it was like $110. We weren't able to get it in time. My suggestion, if you want to reach, this is totally up to you, but, you might want to consider doing an audiobook version of your book where you actually read your book in your own voice, because that's the way I consume it.
See, here's the catch with the audio for me, right? See, I got acid reflux. And before they told me that in prison that I had acid reflux, I was still eating a bunch of spicy stuff. It damaged my esophagus. So what happens is, it's days when my voice go in and out. My voice didn't totally change from this situation. Like when people hear me talk sometimes, they think I'm in pain because it seems like it's a struggle. But I got some damage to my esophagus and they wanted to do a surgery and I didn't want to let them be messing around up in here, man, I talk a lot, man. If they take this night for me, man, it might get hectic on me, right? So the point I'm making is that would kind of make it difficult for me to do the audio. But somebody told me they can help, they can clean, it's a way they can clean it up for me. So I know that would be an easy way because a lot of people don't want to read no book. you know.
Yeah.
But I do got a book for you. I want to get it to you, so you got to make sure I know where to mail it to. Cause I brought one here thinking one of your guys from your crew probably gonna be who can get it to you. So I do got a book for you anyway, cause I want you to read that book. And then you're gonna better understand my story and my journey, and you can see my organizational skills as a little kid from many years ago.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Lil D, man, I'm glad we finally got to sit down and do this. You know, as someone who grew up in the Bay, this was one of the most important interviews that I've wanted to do for a long time because, you know, it hits so close to home. And, you know, I'm very glad that you were able to go through this journey and come out from, you know, from it and have these types of conversations and have this type of information to share with the world, because I'm sure there's lots of people who got locked up at right around the same time that you did that never made it out.
Right.
You know, that hung themselves in a jail cell or got killed over, you know, a petty argument, you know, or just succumbed, you know, to the prison system where they got caught up in the system and killed somebody else and so forth, and ended up on death row.
Those things happen.
You know what I'm saying? It's very easy. Like you do not hear very many people who do 27 years and 10 months and actually come out and are actually have their sanity and their health, and you look good and you look healthy. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's an incredible accomplishment that you know what you've actually walked through and is able to come out, you know, from the other side from.
I do want you to hurry up and read that book, man, because I think once you read it, this conversation we just had, you'll be able to paint that picture. And I think you'll enjoy the book, and then that way you can tell them, go to my own publishing company and order my book, which is Daryl Reed Publishing.
Mm-hmm.
When they get introduced to my story, they're going to understand it's not your normal D-boy story because of my age and my ability to organize people, you know?
No doubt, no doubt. Well, Daryl Reed, AKA Lil D, thank you so much for spending the time to tell the story, and I think that it's going to change a lot of lives, you know, when people see this.
Thank you, man, for the opportunity, man. I enjoyed this conversation we just had. It was like me just kicking it with one of the fellas, man. You know, it wasn't difficult. You shot straight, and we had an honest dialogue, man. And I hope your viewers appreciate this interview that we just did, man.
Oh, they will, man. This is going to be your biggest interview ever. I saw you had a few other little pieces out there. This right here, your phone is going to blow up off the hook once this drops. I can absolutely guarantee it.
It's all good, man. I enjoyed it too, man.
No doubt, man.
All
Until
right.
next time.
Peace, man. Peace to all you youngsters too who gonna see this, man. And y'all better take heed to some of that advice I just gave y'all, or y'all gonna end up like me, man, doing 28 years in federal prison. Peace, man.
Yes, sir. Learn from other. You know what they say is those that don't learn their history are sentenced to repeat it.
Oh, for sure, man.
You know, so learn this history, you know, from a Bay Area OG.
And
you know, don't make the same mistakes.
And I want them to understand this, man, when they hear, you know, a lot of these guys rapping, they telling my story, man, I really lived it, man, you know. So I'm not taking away from the entertainment of being a rapper, but pay homage to the dudes that they rapping about, man. If they wouldn't, if my journey hadn't been my journey, they wouldn't be having the content that they rapping to y'all about and y'all partying to, man. I'm the one that lived it, man, in the flesh, man. It's my story that they rapping about, man. So I'm saying, man, give dudes they do who they earned it, man, and pay homage, you know?